We're going to bring you the story today. So it's Carol and Rachel. And our story is all about the boys who like to say no. You see, God was very sad. Most of his people had stopped listening to him and talking to him, following his rules. Change your ways, God warned them, or you'll have to leave this special land I gave you long ago. But the people didn't listen. So God let their enemies defeat them and destroy their cities and carry them hundreds of miles away to be slaves in the land of Babylon. There were, however, 4 young friends who did not forget him: Daniel, Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego. These boys were clever and strong. So Nebuchadnezzar, the king of Babylon, decided to treat them well. He gave them soft beds. He gave them rich food. And he gave them the very best education, all in the hope they would forget about the land they'd left. But Nebuchadnezzar hadn't reckoned on them being the boys who liked to say no. Well, King Nebuchadnezzar's chief servant was put in charge of turning these boys into good Babylonians. For dinner tonight, he announced, you will have the following: roast chicken, pork sausages and bacon. The king's food looked really good, but the boys knew that it was not something God's rules would allow them to eat. The rules they'd learned in their own land. The rules God had given them. So they turned to the king's servant and together they said, no. The servant could not believe it. No roast chicken?
No, but I wouldn't mind some lovely spring onions.
No juicy sausages?
No, but I wouldn't mind some lovely ripe tomatoes.
Well, what about some crispy bacon?
No, but I wouldn't mind some lovely baked beans.
The king will be very angry, the servant explained. If you do not eat this food, you'll grow tired and ill. And then the king will punish me. Won't you change your mind, please? No, said Daniel, but you will not get into trouble, for we will not grow tired and ill. Tell the king we wish to have a contest. For 10 days, the 4 of us will eat nothing but vegetables and water. The other boys in the palace can eat your food, and then we shall see who is well. The servant agreed, and so did the king. And for 10 days, the boys who liked to say no to everything but vegetables and water ate that, while the other boys ate the king's food. Well, what happened? The God who Daniel, Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego did not forget them. At the end of the contest, the boys who liked to say no looked healthy and strong. Much healthier and stronger than the other boys, in fact. So from then on, Daniel, Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego were allowed to eat whatever they liked. All because they were loyal to their God and because they were the boys who liked to say
no. Well, guys, thank you for listening to that story. We hope you really enjoyed it. And I was thinking that it wasn't really those foods which were the problem, because I like to have a little bit of bacon and some sausages now and again, but it was because the king and the other people, they used those foods to worship things which were not so great, and it really didn't please God. But Daniel and his friends, they really wanted to please God, so they decided to make a stand and say no to those things. And you know what? It made me think this is about making really good choices, isn't it? And sometimes it's easy to make good choices, and sometimes it's harder to make good choices. But when Daniel and his friends had this hard choice to make, they prayed and asked God to help them, and he did. He made them really strong. So you know what? If you've got a hard choice to make and you need some help, it's a really great thing to pray and I know that God will want to help you. Well, thanks for listening. And Carol says goodbye.
Goodbye.
And so do I. And we'll see you next time. Bye, guys.
Bye.